And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fan favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome in to the Family Hour. Brought to you by American Senior Benefits on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Todd Riley and Jay Stoll.
Welcome to it on a Sunday morning. We're live, and we appreciate you hanging out with us on a Sunday. Again, for the sake of communication, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline if you want to add to the conversation and be a part of what's going on. If you have questions, if you have curiosities, or if you have comments, you can do that. You can follow us on the Starter Heyman live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter live. So you can see what's going on in studio, see the faces of the people behind the voices and the stories. So you can do that and chime in. Greatly appreciate it. Todd Riley, Jay Stoll, gentlemen. Good Sunday morning. How are you?
Excellent.
Let's get him on there. Hey, Harrison, can you punch up Jay?
Most people say they like it like this.
Can we have that mute button at the office?
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out, right? Oh, they just walk around and mute you? Is that how that works? Yeah, let's switch those up. There we go. I don't know what the deal is. You and Harrison will get close. There you
We're
go.
in a drive-in theater right now.
There you go. Much better. Much better. Hey, everybody showered this morning. So everything's good. Everything's good. So how was the weekend? I mean, I know you've got stories. Jay Stoll, what'd you do this weekend?
I went to go see Joe Coy in Ralston last night. It was excellent. He's hilarious. Nice little date night for the wife and I.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And she still likes you after?
Oh, yeah. Boy, I tell you, after that conversation we had, and Todd saw it. Well, I upgraded with her tremendously. What I do, Todd?
Beautiful piece of ice on her finger now.
Yeah. So when we were married, I didn't have a pot to what in. And so got her a nice small ring, but I always wanted to do more. And just last week I was able to accomplish that. And so
Congratulations.
I was always told I'd get her a band. Well, because of this career and what it's afforded me to do and helping people and in return helping myself, I got her a friend's jealousy ring.
See, every guy understood exactly what you meant just now. Like they just there we go.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We were talking last week about agents, as they get better at this and it's fun as heck to see their incomes improve. And we talk like first they get a better haircut, then they get better clothes, then they get a better car, and then they get a better house. Well, I'd kind of forgotten about the significant other part of that. Yeah, they get a better ring and a better car and better clothes. Yeah. My wife's is purses. She's a big purse fan. So
so you're not. So now by that you are now an expert on
I
purses.
far more than I
like
need
you
to be.
fully.
Yeah, we know.
But I ever cared.
Yeah, I think that's the part the part of the discussion and when you talk about taking care of family and taking care of the things that matter most, but everybody has the thing that they need taken care of first.
Right.
And
make sure the queen's taken care
of. That first thing, that whatever that is, sometimes you get lucky and it's not a thing you have to buy. So you praise those things. I got lucky. I got lucky because for my wife, it's time spent.
Mm-hmm.
It's time spent together. Like that's like the big thing. She doesn't care what we're doing, as long as we're doing it together. She's cool with it. So again, a woman that will go and spend your honeymoon traveling up and down the East Coast to baseball parks.
Oh, there you go.
Like I won.
Yeah, you
like
won. You won.
I won. A woman that says, "Hey, let's get married. Where do we want?" And we thought about all the cool ways. We're like, we're not gonna just do a thing. Let's do a thing. If we're gonna do that. So we got married at Nats Park.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
We got married at Nationals Park, and I was like, every one of my friends kind of went, yeah.
was it on the pitching mound?
We couldn't get on the pitcher's mound, but we had the park. So it was the Nats were on the road. They played at home Friday, and then we had they played Thursday, and we had our little party there at the club at the stadium.
Nice.
And then we had our rehearsal, which not for nothing, but the first day that you're having a rehearsal, and it's just you and the immediates in the park. Pretty exceptional.
I bet.
Pretty cool. You pull up to the stadium and like,
this is for you.
This is all for you. And then, of course, the day of the wedding, they left out the carts. So we went on a full tour in the carts.
Did you bring her in from the bullpen? Did she walk down the aisle? Down the
that would have
bullpen?
been a whole different deal.
Oh.
It's so interesting that as you say, the things that you can do in progression in your life, right? That day standing in it was a day where you start to say thank you for the way people take care of finances along the way, right? All the financial things that little details are required. And to do that sort of thing is when this is why I can respect what you guys do, because it really is a matter of getting people to pay attention to the small details.
Very much.
Like usually stuff that you don't want to think about.
Yep.
But to think about that and have her dad was Navy captain. So having him walk, they were coming through the VIP club. So imagine any baseball stadium and those club seats. And then they came through the door. And the sun's like sitting over the stadium, and you're just standing there, and I'm going, oh, we got it right.
Yeah.
Like we got it right. And I was so proud of him. I was so proud of her mom. My mom was there.
Nice.
It was a very cool day. I think we had 200 people maybe.
Oh, nice.
So it's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig.
Where was the ceremony?
So
at? Was it
directly
on the field, or was it
no.
in the
So
walking tunnel?
it's so when you go on club level, there's a flat platform right behind home plate.
Okay.
It's elevated. It's directly above it. I'll share pictures with you when we go to break. But then, I mean, we took wedding party pictures in the dugout and on the field. And our Christmas card for a very long, there were two shots. One, us on the field with Nats Park, with the stadium, with the billboard right behind us.
Yeah.
And the other is us walking into the club.
Oh,
With
nice.
the champagne. Like it's like, it's a pretty cool. Like I said, we went to Baltimore Sunday morning, Philly, Met Stadium, Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
wow. Wow.
So you, like I said, that thing of Kings, when you go, okay,
Yeah.
pick somebody once you learn their thing. Her thing is, I don't care what it is you want to do as long as we do it together. Like,
Did you take her to a nice dinner at least?
oh,
Or
Hot
just-
dogs.
Hot dogs. I
are
was gonna
good.
say
Yeah.
hot dogs.
oh, the
and,
wet. So the wedding,
$12 beers.
the wedding cake was a big baseball
Oh.
with chocolate inside, chocolate cake.
So that was the cork.
But the white with the vanilla and then the red laces on the cake.
no.
And then each guest got little baseball cupcakes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta live a little.
I liked your wife before. I like her even better now.
Yeah, like it's hard not to like her. It's hard.
Absolutely.
I mean, think she puts up with us, right? So you just kind of go, look, anybody that puts up with me 24/7,
and
Yeah.
wants more of it apparently.
Right?
Wants-
Like, really? Like,
Yeah.
you sure? So, but that's the glory of it, right?
Yeah.
Is you find somebody that wants to
Oh, God,
live
yeah.
like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife, she's a huge Chicago Bears fan, and so
That's too
anything
bad.
Chicago, I know, I get it.
Eh?
Chuck Foreman here, folks.
Right.
Yeah, so anything Chicago Bears, she absolutely loves.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
mean, it's just learning. I mean, that's what family stuff is, and you guys do a really good job of helping people take care of the small details. Because my wife is a small details person. I jokingly tell people that if I asked her how much we spent on Gatorade for the last 10 years, she has a number.
Yeah.
Like, she has a number, but that's what allows us to do business,
Mhm.
is because she's on top of everything. So,
Good deal.
like I said, find people in your life that take care of that. You guys are the next phase of taking care of people in this space, in this community. Once they know what they need, sometimes they don't even know what they need until you show up.
It certainly can happen. Yeah, we run into it quite a bit. About knowing what your significant other wants. My wife's was, is he going to do what he says he's going to do?
Ooh, that's
yeah.
big.
Yeah. And
That's big.
she told me later it took like a year and a half before she, he actually has done everything he said he's going to do. But so yeah, that was worth a $1 million in her mind.
Paying the debts of all before you.
Boom.
That's just it. That is
Right.
just it.
Right?
Now, when I moved over to this career, I kid you not, my mom went and got me a 175 of Jameson, right? And she said, and then she told me this, a year and a half later, because I seen him. I'm like, what is this here for? Well, we didn't know if you were gonna. We didn't think you're gonna make it in this industry. So we had this. It's kind of a parting gift for you. And I said, boy, this tastes the best I've ever had. In my life.
Right. It's that thing. It really is that thing. And we tell people, in the space that you're in order to take care of your family, you have to have uncomfortable conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations.
That's the really nice thing about what we do. We are the experts, right? We have licenses. We have done so much education. We have trained. So many folks are amazed at what American Senior Benefits can bring to the table. You might have one company that can only do, say, cancer plans. You have another company that can only do, supplements or advantage. You have another company that can only do life insurance. They got to pay extraordinary amount of money to talk to financial advisors. We are the Swiss Army knife. We're one of the very few, I think it is, Todd, that we can do it all in one. So that way, instead of having to go spread out all over, now you're at home with one that takes care of everything.
Is that everybody in under your umbrella, or is it kind of spread out?
We have financial advisors that do that, which is huge now with the market obviously just tanking left and right. Products that are guaranteed and have guarantees and can't lose due to market declines and that sort of thing. So we do have those, but all the rest of us are licensed to where we can do any of the insurance products, from the cancers, the health, the lives, and like Jay said, even our people that have been there 6 months, I would put them up against people in the industry and other companies that have done this 3 and 4 years, just because our training programs are that good. So our people in the field really are experts.
I mean, how much time would it take so Harrison decides he doesn't want to do radio. He wants to do what you guys are doing. How
Good
long
for you, Harrison. We'll talk after.
Not good for us. But I mean, that consideration, because that's kind of the target, right? Is to figure out if you want to free yourself up for this sort of thing. Again, a change of schedule, change of time allowance, and time management matters. Then your ability to help folks, but then to help yourself. How long does it take? Is this a 6-month process? Is this a 9-month process?
What's really cool is we have a system for everything. Our saying, one of our sayings in the office is, the system's the solution, and our system for training is unbelievable. For the first 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quickly somebody picks it up, they are working with one of our mentors, one of our managers, one of our trainers. So they're never alone. We have a group me that we do just among the agents. So if they're in a house, they don't know the answer to something, we always tell our people, don't Don't try to just wing it.
Don't
just
guess.
Right. Just tell your client, hey,
Yeah.
you know
Let
what?
me-
That's a
let me
great
check.
question.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me call. I know. I have 16 people I can call and ask that. So you're never alone. So 4 to 6 weeks till they're on their own.
Okay.
But it was kind of neat. Just a couple months ago, I sat down and thought to myself that exact same question. How long does it take to get comfortable at this, to where you're thinking, okay, I can do this. I can, I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I'm comfortable. My key works in the door. I can tie my shoes. I know what I'm doing. And so I came up with a number, and then I asked all the managers in the office to come up with a number. And believe it or not, every one of us came up with the same number. And that number was 1,200 hours.
Okay.
And if you work a 9-to-5 job, that's 6 months.
Okay.
But what's so great here, being your own boss, having your own business, it's you incorporated. If you want to work 12-hour days, suddenly that became 4 months. If if you would want to work 24 hours a day, that became 3 months. But that's up to you. And I've never seen a career like this one to where if you work, you think, okay, I work 20% more, I'll make 20% more income. You work 20% more, you make 50% more income. You work 50% more, you make 150% more income. It just grows exponentially like I've never seen. So you are in the captain's seat. Again, it's your company, and it's you incorporated. You get to decide how long that training takes. But again, the system's a solution, and we have it mapped out where we don't even expect anybody. I always joke, the only thing I knew about insurance when I started was I knew how to spell it. And that's really about it. And we've taken.
You're ahead of a lot of people.
We were having that conversation before the show started.
Yeah. I used to say that about the restaurant business. It's amazing how many people would mess that up.
What restaurant is a harder word to spell?
It's Jay, how long did it take you before you felt like, you know what, my feet are on the ground?
Before I got it?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 3 months. About 3 months. I felt good going.
Just grinding through it.
Just going. Like I said, it's like anything in life. It's a game of repetition, right? You do it over and over, right? You're either going to get it or you're not. And the nice thing with us is like I said, I'm one of the management trainers. We have 2 other ones, and Todd, that I think are just the best.
Yeah.
And so they put you out there for success. Now, whether you get success is up to you. Right. We lay down a pattern of how to do things. If you follow the road, you're good. There is sometimes people that kind of veer off and want to do their own thing.
You learn pretty quickly whether they're going to follow the plan.
Yeah. You know how that is.
Yeah. Whether
you might have a business you know about.
Nah, as you try to tell people, it's like, no, that's not it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not it. So I find it fascinating because people in a previous life, this was kind of what I did in training people to manage time.
Right.
Which was the thing. Being able to get people to identify, what do you do with your 168? And 168 was always, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that succeeds and the person that doesn't have the same 168. It's
right.
what they do with the 168 that determines their productivity. And then often that comes from focus and priority, which have to be a part of the planning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then when you get those people in front of you, asking them the question, why are you doing this? Why do you think this is the thing for you? And then what do you want to get from it? Because that's the only way it's going to work. Like that's the only way. So the fact that you have a plan, you have it set up to hours and such, pretty amazing. Here's where we'll go to an early break because I want to get out of you guys' way. The next segment, I'm going to have you guys.
All right.
Talk to each other.
All right. All right.
We'll do that next here.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries?
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back to the Family Hour. Brought to you by American Senior Benefits. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. We have a question from the text starter Heyman text line, so we'll read it. Ed says, ask this, is this commission based? I make almost $60K a year. How long till I could make comparable money?
That is a great question, Ed. I appreciate you texting in. It is commission based. We do for the first 2 months via help, which is a little bit based on background, but we'll give you a start, if you will. 60 is definitely a possible first year. Average has been about 54, so it's right in there. You get stallions like Jay here that have taken off and done even better. We train everybody. Their fourth year is a 6-figure income.
Okay.
I guess, as I was saying earlier today, the system's a solution. And again, follow our system, and Ed, you're right there.
This is an investment in yourself.
Right.
Yep.
It takes a little, because the cap is what holds people in some space to where they are. Well,
sure.
At least I know what I have.
Right.
But then it becomes, but you're not getting all you can get, which is the other side of where
you're
over.
working extremely hard for somebody else to have a really good living.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was captive to that. Not saying anything wrong with it, but that's what I did. That's what I knew. And then, like I said, got outside my lane, started doing this, and it feels so amazing to work hard and then get rewarded for your hard work, and you don't have to share that with anybody else. That is just for you. That is for your family. That is for your livelihood. That's for your goals, your future.
We have a lady that works in our office, Dana, does a great job for us. Been there, this is her 3rd year now. She'd worked at a credit union previously, and she tells a story for, I think it was for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, they had froze their wages, so they didn't even get the tiny 3% cost of living raise for 5 years. But guess what? Their health insurance went up every year, so she actually lost money every year. And then the credit union gets bought out, and she loses her job.
My first job out of college was second job out of college. First was at a rec center. I worked at a rec center. That's what but I was a bill collector.
Oh, you were the favorite person then
for a hospital system in DC, for Howard University Hospital. And so this sort of thing was where I learned commission based versus guarantee, the amount of time that I wanted to put into this thing, the number of accounts that I would get my hands on would determine outcome and income. And it's really good at it. It's really good at it. But it helped me professionally. But it also helped me personally, because I learned that the time put in is there's always an effect.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good for folks to be able to know what the areas were. You guys have the ability to change people's lives.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, we've taken people from all backgrounds: accountants, factory workers, nurses, teachers, bartenders, juvenile delinquents. Some of the
Jay, he looked right at you. He looked right at you.
He didn't look at me when he said professor.
Yeah, he looked right at you. He was like, juvenile delinquent.
And you just piggybacked off that. You just stared right back. Yeah.
Look,
there wasn't even hesitation.
I don't miss those at all. That's pretty good.
In case you're not watching on the internet, you can now know.
Face for radio.
Where do you guys want to go with this?
Well, I'd like to actually expound a little further on Ed there. A lot of people are scared, and I get it. If you're not nervous about a mostly commission career, there's probably something wrong with you. And it's funny, the people I've been doing this 31 years now, and training people probably 28 or 29 of those 31 years. The people that come in and like, oh, you see that age of the month spot out there? That's going to be mine next month. Oh, you see that? I'm going to do that. They're gone in 2 weeks. The person that has a genuine concern, I understand that. And we can work with that person. That person's smart and intelligent and realizes, hey, this is a little different than what I'm used to. And it's funny, even my parents, my dad worked in a factory his whole life, made tractors in northern Iowa, and would have never considered a sales career. But the security, you need the security. You need the security. Well, guess what? When Dad was 2 years before retiring, his company went bankrupt. So at 60 years old, he's trying to find a job, and age discrimination is a thing. They couldn't say, how old are you, Harold? But obviously, you've got 42 years of experience.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So when you're here, there is no such thing as a layoff. There is no such thing as getting bought out and getting kicked to the curb. There is no such thing as downsizing. We all think the market is on the edge. Everything you read says, there could be some big layoffs and stuff coming. That's not a concern here. That's what you do is up to you. One of the greatest trainers of all times, guy by the name of Tom Hopkins. I've read 1 million of his books and CDs, even back on cassettes back in the day.
Yeah, you have 42 years experience. too.
right. I'm quickly becoming my father.
Right.
But he always said, make sales your new fun hobby. You know, like people that love golf. Well, they think about golf. They buy golf equipment. They spend every Saturday, sometimes 4 times a week, golfing. If you start here, and that's what made Jay so darn successful at this, sales became his new fun hobby. Instead of watching stuff that didn't matter, he was watching training stuff. And anybody from anywhere can do this and do extremely well at it. You just have to be disciplined. And what helped me a ton on that was I had been in the Air Force and basic training in the Air Force. They too many things to do and not enough time to do them. So are you going to do what you're supposed to do and shine your boots, which they don't have to do anymore, which I think is crap, but or are you going to write that letter home, you know, and their want is you to shine your boots. Well, it's the same thing here. You're your own boss. So I don't know if you're at the mall goofing around. I don't know if you're playing video games. I don't know. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, man, the sky's the limit for you.
And the thing is, 350,000 people, I looked it up statistically wise, are on Medicare in the state of Nebraska. And I think from all the different companies, ours and everybody else included, there's, I think there's like 1,000 or 1,500 agents total.
Yeah. Yeah. Something around there.
If you want to get into this industry, now is the absolute best time.
Yeah.
10,000 people a day are turning 65. Yeah. 10,000 people a day want someone they can sit to, talk to, and trust.
What's the number in the state?
For what?
For people who are aging up to 65.
Well, currently right now, there's 350,000. Oh, just over that are on Medicare. So moving up to 65. Yeah. I got to do some homework now, man. Thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it.
I'm here for you.
I love it.
And for the next 10 years, that's the trend. I mean, it's not like it's going to get less soon. It holy smokes. We there's no end to what this is going to be.
People want to retire early.
Yeah.
Medications that keep you alive a lot longer. People need help.
Yeah. I mean, you're tracking, who's retiring, how many families, how many households is this? I mean, are you census aware? Like how many people in the state are in different areas and pockets of Nebraska?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's nice too. People, other companies that do similar things to us. And I never understood this, but they'll leave on a Monday morning for Oklahoma or Wyoming or wherever. And they'll spend 4 nights knocking doors out there and then come back Friday afternoon and then do it all over again the next week. You don't need to do that. We go like a 2-hour radius of here, or we also have a satellite in Kearney. If you're out there, 2 hours radius of that. So you're home every night. It's a real career. You don't have to not see your family. You don't have to be gone, missing them. In that same vein too, you also, again, because it's your company, you're your own boss. If your kid has something to play at school or something at 2:00 in the afternoon, you can take off and go see that. And then make it up later that night if you want to. I mean, it's the flexibility it can be double-edged. Like we said earlier, you got to have the self-discipline to be your own boss and go back to work when nobody's watching. But with that, man, it gives you the opportunity to see things and experience things with your family that you didn't have the opportunity before when you're locked into a 9-to-5er.
Has technology made it easier?
Oh God, yeah. Oh my goodness, so many people. They like to text. A lot of my clients will send me text messages. Where it used to be, calling, if you miss a call, call them back, which is fine. But then when you get 15, 20, 25 calls, you're trying to get back to them all the time. Now I just say, hey, do you text? Yep, perfect. Anytime you need me, send me a text. Cannot be after 10 o'clock though. Again, married to my wife. And if I get a text from a female after 10 o'clock at night, things get hairy. So I tell them about that. I say, hey, if you need me, I'm here for you. But from 10 o'clock to 6 a.m., unless it's a dire emergency, I probably won't be alive if you send me a text.
If you want me tomorrow, don't text me tonight.
Yeah. You really like me. I want to work with you. I want you part of the family. But I got to be alive.
Another way it's helped tremendously too with 200 companies.
There's nothing appropriate to say. There really wasn't. There's nothing there. There's nothing.
I tell you, we just go for a ride.
Yeah,
just jump on.
I'll do my best to get us back.
Yeah. That's why you're in charge, Todd. That's how that works. You're the gatekeeper.
Pull it back, Jay. Pull it back.
It was far back again when I started, about technology. I think that's where we started
Yeah.
with this. All right. My trunk was full of papers, and people, okay, let me go grab this form, let me go grab that form, let me grab these rates. So it's all now on my phone. I literally configure the rates from 200 companies on my phone. I can do the application on my phone. They can autograph it with their finger on my phone. It's made life a ton easier. It really has made this job slick.
In recruiting, how big a part does that play in it? Like for people who are considering this, like
that has to be huge. Like I said, simplicity now. I mean, when Todd was doing it, he had a phone book to go through and call people's names and find
oh my goodness,
Gilbert and
old sounding names.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Vivian,
Mildred. Yeah, it's gotta be
paper
I'm
applications.
sorry if there's an 18-year-old Mildred out there. I apologize.
Vivian was young once. It's just you have to remember that Vivian and Mildred.
They're coming back. Those names are coming back. They're very, very popular.
That's so funny.
But he used to have the apps, how many, 10, 12 pages long, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you pray to God that you got everything done right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to go back out there and say,
Forget
hey,
a
I missed a
form.
signature here. I'll be out there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So the simplicity of technology and the accessibility, how easy it has made it, and fast and effective. I mean, where it used to take, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get approved for something. Now it's in the matter of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Is that a big part of it? Is you sitting in the home of an elderly person showing them how to download DocuSign so you can get contracts and agreements done, right?
Well, again, that's what's kind of nice too, because it's easier for us, but it's easier for them as well. Like I said, you can do the autograph right on your phone, with their finger, so they don't have to be very tech savvy. Because a lot of people still aren't in that age group, which is, I get it. I'm not as much as Jay is, and Jay's not as much as my son is, and but what's nice too, again, for agents coming on with us, they don't have to know a lot of that either. They don't have to be IT wizards by any means. It's pretty point and click kind of stuff. Now, the better you are, great, but you'll pick that up as you go. But like Jay was saying too, a huge advantage for us and for the people that we serve, our clients, if the underwriting is done right there on a lot of the plans. So they autograph it, it electronically gets sent. We visit, have a cup of coffee with them for 2 minutes, and then it says, boom, congratulations, you were approved. Or if they were not, okay, we try somebody else. Like I said, we got 199 other ones then that we can try them with.
It seems like the progression from hour 1 to hour 1200, a lot of it is up to the person and what their goals are,
without question.
Like
Absolutely.
It's a constant reminder. How do you keep that number in their head positively rather than a burden? Because if you saying 1200 hours builds a mountain,
right? Yeah. How do you eat an elephant? Right. One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
And every Tuesdays and Fridays are our office days.
Okay.
And they're never ever a gripe session. They're never yelling at anybody. But things like that are constant reminders. We have stuff on the board, 1200 hours. We have different sayings and quotes on the board, and it's just we have a meeting every Friday. Again, it's never a gripe session. It's hey, what happened this week? Here's a great idea. Here's a new product coming out. So positivity is key in this. This job is not easy. That's why I always say if it was easy, it wouldn't pay so well. So it's really nice to have a group of people to come back to and have a positive base to land. And that's where spouses and significant others play such a huge role. We were kind of laughing, but they deserve some rewards because we aren't home every day at the same time. Our paycheck isn't the same every Friday. They put up with a lot of late dinners and a lot of having to take the kids here and there for us to, especially in the beginning. Any job when you start it new is harder. That's just life. I don't care what it is. So the spouses play a huge role in that because there is a lot of up and down on time and money. But man, if you can focus on that, and we're here to help you. Somebody in your boat to help you with the bailing. One of the best phrases I saw on some of our stuff is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Again, systems of solution. We have something for everybody to help them.
And that 1,200 hours 6-month target for folks, that's the apple that you dangle.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to get people through to that 1,200 hours.
As long as they show up every day. Biggest thing, if they show up, we will have them successful.
Heck yeah.
There, like I said, there's people, there's myself, there's Todd, there's Bally, there's Danicus. There's people in place to help them succeed.
I'm dying to ask this question before we go to break, but it is, what is the one thing about the next person that calls you and says, you know what, I'm curious. I want to see if I can do that. What is the one thing that helps you identify that they're going to be successful?
Well,
don't give that answer now.
Okay.
We'll get that.
Ooh, teaser.
We'll get that answer when we come back.
All right. When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Talk to doctor now and share it. I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. we have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back to the Family Hour, brought to you by American Senior Benefits on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Family Hour with American Senior Benefits. I'm Todd Riley with Jay Stoll. A question was asked just before the break of how do I know if somebody's going to be successful in this? And unfortunately, I don't. If a person has an inner drive, they can get up with nobody watching. They have some support at home to help them, and they have a real desire to help other people make a great living doing it. Man, that's certainly a foundation. And to talk about what we do, how we do it, and why what we do is so important. Unfortunately, it's usually the bad things that show us what we should have done or what was needed. And Jay had a experience this week, unfortunately, with a good friend of his. Would you mind sharing that with us, Jay, and how we can help people?
Absolutely. First of all, I got some people listening. So my sister and all the nurses at St. Elizabeth, thank you for waking up this morning and joining us, Jamie. Good friend of mine passed away last week. He was in a motor vehicle accident. And what people don't realize is when death occurs, plans need to be put in place. And if they're not, it can get fishy. It can get kind of embarrassing. For this certain situation, there was a GoFundMe that occurred to help pay for his services. Now, him and his wife are well off. That should never be the case. But what a lot of people don't realize is when one person passes away, a lot of time their assets are frozen. And what that means is when you want to go to the bank, when you want to go get money, when you want to make sure that the funeral director gets his money up front because that's what they ask for, you're told, no, we've got to wait. It's going to be 30 to 45 days. Well, the service is in a week. We need that money. Funeral director, sorry, can't help you. So then people reach out to their friends and family on GoFundMe. And it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. It's the most embarrassing thing in the world to put a picture of someone you love saying, hey, I need help to pay for this. And so one of the things that we do, and I take it very seriously, is I talk to family, I talk to friends and prospects as well, having a plan in place. And the nice thing is it's National Life Insurance Awareness Month, right, Todd? Mm-hmm. And a lot of folks have life insurance, which is great, right? Absolutely. You can never have enough, honestly. You can never have enough. I've always said you'll insure your house, your car, your phone, but not your family. But typically for life insurance, how long does it take to get paid out on a life insurance policy?
Thanks to new law change, it can now take up to 60 days before they get cut a check on some policies.
So we walk into houses, people say, I have, $30,000, $40,000 in this life insurance. It's going to take care of my funeral. And I say, are you aware that you're not going to get that right away? So we help folks with a product called Final Expense, which is a policy basically just to cover their services or their funeral or cremation, whatever they want to do. And the nice thing is you get it within 3 to 5 business days. There's companies we work with that you don't need to present a death certificate. When that time comes, they send the check out right away. And I've had a lot of people thank me for helping them with that because they didn't know that when their husband died that their bank account was going to be frozen. They had no idea that the life insurance they thought they were going to get it took 60 days. Yeah. I gave them a little $10,000, policy just to help out to make sure their service is taken care of. That's all they had to use. That's all they had. And so when I get, calls saying, hey, thank you for that. That little $10,000 policy you did for us saved the world because I had no way to get my money.
And the funeral directors will take that as if you walked in with $10,000 in cash. It means the same to them. They know that they'll get it that quick.
Yep. So, like I said, when cases like that happen, I feel awful because I should have had that conversation. A lot of people, intimidation, you don't want to step on people's toes. But when real life situations like this happen, the hardest ones you want to talk to are your friends and family, right? Because they're thinking, well, you're just trying to sell us. You're just trying to do this, that, and the other. No, I've been into houses. I'm the expert. I've seen with my own eyes what happens. I'm trying to protect you and help you. I don't want you in this situation. Please listen to me.
Yeah. It can be the best or the worst feeling in the world, depending on how good of a job we did talking to them.
I think getting past the stigma of having the conversation, right? Being in a situation of need or unpreparedness or right.
Yeah.
Or just avoiding the possibility.
I'll do it later. I'll get to it later. We won't do it right now. Hear that all the time.
Let folks know how to reach you if they have questions about any of this on any side of it.
You bet. For the product side, 402-614-9292. For the recruiting side, ask for Joyce Ann at 402-413-9846. Where can they find us online, Jay?
Go to Facebook, American Senior Benefits Lincoln.
Specifically, Lincoln.
Specifically.
Let them learn. Well done, gentlemen. It's another hour's worth.
Went by fast.
Now,
it always does.
We are going to be parting ways, aren't we, my friend?
No, not really.
You're going to be there for us?
I'll be here. Just getting out of the way.
So he trusts us enough to take over on our own, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, well, Harrison.
We got Harrison.
Harrison's going to be here with the dump button.
Harrison's ready. Let me tell you, Harrison is ready.
Study up, my friend.
He is an expert at this stuff by now.
Scotch and cigars next Sunday, Harrison.
That's what it is. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you. We'll go national here, and then we'll come back at 9:00 for the Fitness Fanatics.